It is low impact, but high intensity and super effective when it comes to building strength and overall fitness. We are talking about Pure Barre and why so many women love it.
This is Charleston Women Podcast, where you can meet like-minded, strong, independent, professional, and inspiring local women. This is Charleston Women Podcast.
And now I would like to welcome to the Charleston Women Podcast, Emily Moody, who is the owner of Pure Barre Summerville. Emily, welcome to the show. We are so happy to have you.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk about something I could talk about for days.
You know what? Me too, because as I've told you, I have done Pure Barre for years and years, like a decade, I think. So let's just start with the basics. For someone who's never taken a class, how do you define Pure Barre? What is this workout?
Pure Barre has changed over the years, even I'm sure in the time you've been taking it. It's changed for me too. I've been taking Pure Barre for about 11 or 12 years. And it has changed in some ways, but in some ways it's stayed the same. What makes Pure Barre super unique is a constant, and it will, we will stick with that even through different iterations of the workouts. But Pure Barre is a total body workout. Focuses on the parts of the body that, people like to focus on the most and complain about the most. So upper body, core, thighs, seat. That's what we call the seat. What you're sitting on, that's our seat. And then we finish up with some more core work, stretching, balance, flexibility. We cover all the bases. Traditionally, Pure Barre has been focused on really small movements, isometric holds and such. We have moved into the heavier weightlifting space in the past couple of months. So that last statement comes with an asterisk now, but it's still the same with our weightlifting class. We make it accessible, really doable for all fitness levels. We kind of take the fear out of weightlifting and out of the gym by bringing it into our studio, which is really comfortable and familiar to our members.
Why is it? I often find myself asking myself this. What is it about Pure Barre that makes women, A, love it, and B, continue to stay with it for years and years and years? You think it's it's a lot for me, consistency, results, 50, 55 minutes of like me time. But what do you hear from your clients? Like, why do we keep coming back?
I think it's all the things that you just said. Pure Barre is a space that is all your own. Every client walks in the door of the studio and you feel at home. It's like this is your home away from home. The owners across the country, I connect with them on a weekly basis and then a yearly basis at convention. And we are all really on the same page in that we prioritize the community aspect of our workout. We know you by name. We know your class times. We most of the time know the names of your partner, your husband, your kids. We know when your mom's in the hospital. We know how many classes you've taken, how many classes you want to take, and we know your fitness goals and where you're trying to go. We also know where you've been, and we can encourage you as we, just show you the progress and the results that you might not be able to see for yourself. So it really is our community that makes us unique. Adults, I find that we don't learn new things. We stick with what we know. Right. But it feels really good to learn something new. So the new clients, when they come into our studio, they just end up having a real feeling of accomplishment, that they have learned something new, that they've challenged their body. They have taken a very strong step towards something that is just for them. And we've been open since the pandemic. And so I feel like that's even more true of our studio, like health and wellness and mental health and self-care. Those are all really, popular and really big buzzwords and things that everyone's prioritizing now. And so we have benefited from that. People just wanting to get healthy and connect with other people.
I agree. For me, it's like a family. It's my Pure Barre family. Every time I go, every time I try to bring a friend, I always laugh a little because it's hard to, and I want you to explain this because some of the movements, like the classic class, the movements are so small. So I think people look at it or they'll watch the videos and to maybe from an outsider, it seems easy, which we know it's not.
Right.
What is it about those small movements? Like, why is that, the defining part of the class and what makes it so successful and effective?
I even talk about that exact thing when I teach foundations. I say if somebody were to be looking in the window right now while we're at the bar doing tiny little leg lifts, they would be thinking, no, that's not hard. I can do that. But the basis of that part of our technique, the foundation of Pure Barre, are small isometric holds. So an isometric hold is just a hold of whatever muscle group that you're working. So we work the muscles to fatigue by doing that, by holding them for 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 2 minutes. We do add in a little bit of teeny tiny movements so that you don't get bored holding your leg up for 2 straight minutes, like a little tiny lift or a little tiny squeeze. But the point is that you're still holding the muscle and contracting it throughout the entire period of the exercise. And that works the muscle to fatigue. What that feels like is a shake. So that's why we have our logo, shake it till you make it. And the better you get at Pure Barre, the quicker you can get into the fatigue of the muscle, the quicker you can feel the shakes. And so that's why it gets more effective as you go on. When I first started, I would have to really concentrate, close your eyes, focus on that mind-body connection, just take some time to really get into it. But the more you practice, the sooner you can get into it. And now I can barely finish any exercise because I get into that hold right away.
That's such a good point, because I feel like the more I do it, it is not getting easier. And if anything, I'm the one like trembling so much and the people around me aren't. So that makes sense, though, that the better that you can get into that faster.
Podcasting has exploded in popularity, especially local podcasts. As of 2022, 62% of Americans have listened to a podcast. 38% have listened in the last month. 26% in the last week. The podcasting audience is booming with no signs of slowing down. Call the podcast hotline to be featured on these podcasts or to receive information about podcast marketing. Call 843-530-0403 or visit carolinapodcasts.com.
You're listening to the Charleston Women Podcast.
Let's talk about the transformation, because in my 10 years of doing it, and you said 12 years of doing it, I have seen so many women just transform, and I feel like you guys you really focus on strong, right? Isn't that your word? Like, having strength, but people definitely lose weight. I feel like all of us stand a little bit taller. We have better posture. What are the results that you see?
All of those things. The posture. I remember when I first started Pure Barre, my instructor, and I'm still in touch with her. She's awesome. She's now an owner of another studio. She said, your posture muscles, you can't get them back. And I thought that was really profound, really telling. And her point being, they are a priority. Start working on them as soon as you can. Stop the bleeding, of bad posture, weakness in the shoulders. And also, I think it has to do with a level of pride that you feel in yourself, a level of confidence. If you stand tall with your shoulders back, it just projects, a feeling of confidence. And women can really find that by taking care of themselves, because it starts a really positive cycle. So if you start working out, then you feel better. If you feel better, you make better choices with eating, sleep, water, and then you look better. And then that just continues that positive cycle. I do believe what you always hear people say, that abs are made in the kitchen. You can't really, lose significant amount of weight without making those dietary changes. But nobody ever got the endorphins from eating lettuce. So you can't really do that without working out. You just don't feel as good, and focusing only on what you're not eating puts your body and your mind in a state of deprivation. Instead of abundance with working out, you're doing something good for your body. You're going to fuel your body with protein, with the fruits and vegetables that it needs. Just really keeps that positive cycle going.
Right. In Pure Barre, when they say mind-body connection, how would you define that to someone who's never been to a class before? Because I feel like the more you think about that movement, the harder it gets, right? As you mentioned before, the more you're focused, the faster you get to that shake. How do you guys create that?
So that's sort of what I hinted at before. And we actually, in our foundations class, we teach people to do this by focusing on their bicep muscle. So we actually have people extend their arms and bend and extend. And we're not using any weights for this. And we just talk about how you really could go on like this all day. Okay, but in Pure Barre, our technique, we add a squeeze of the muscle, and we have them roll up their shirt so they can see it. Almost like you're moving through mud. You squeeze the muscle on the way in and the way out. You're contracting it the entire time. And that is when you feel the shake. And that is when you know you've made the mind-body connection and you are putting everything you have into that muscle. You feel that little shake.
It makes all the difference. And like someone listening, or if they're watching us on video and they're like, okay, I'm convinced, like I'm really willing to give this a go, help them, get ready for their first class. What do they need to know? I know we wear socks not shoes, which might be strange for someone, the leggings, kind of just like walk us through that process of setup so they can walk in that first time and feel comfortable.
Absolutely. So the main thing I have to say is we love our Pure Barre retail. We have a whole vibe with the leggings and the tops. We have logos. I have some teachers who love matching their socks to their leggings, and that's the fun part. Mm-hmm. It really is fun. It's super comfortable to wear. Our retail, it's breathable, it's movable, perfect for moms on the go, or you feel like you're almost wearing loungewear. But at the end of the day, that's just an extra. It's not required. Our super cute clothes are not required. They're just an extra. They're a bonus.
Yeah.
And once you start taking care of yourself, you will want to dress yourself well for working out. But I'd never want that to be an intimidation factor for anyone. It's just a love that most people grow to have. But in our studio, we have the whole gamut of, athleisure all the way to people running in, throwing on a pair of leggings after work. We do recommend leggings because we work with the balls. I should have brought some equipment with me, but we have balls that we use between our thighs, behind the lower back. And so when you're working with the texture of the ball on your legs, it just helps. It's more comfortable.
And shorts might make it slippery, right? Like you could,
and like on your skin, if you're wearing lotion, it just works better.
Yeah.
We also work with the double tubes, as you know, everyone's best friend, the double tube, and those can actually hurt. That said no one ever. And those can actually hurt if they're on your bare skin. So we really do recommend that you wear pants at least that cover your knees, ideally, leggings to the shins or below, and then whatever top you feel comfortable in. And like you mentioned, we wear sticky socks. You can order those, and most people have them. We don't require that they are purchased from our studio, but we do love our socks. They're our currency at Pure Barre. Everyone loves them. We have
I love the socks. I was going to say, if you've never been before, if you're a mom too, I guarantee you have that pair of Sky Zone sticky socks.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of newbies wear those the first times, and then they make this small investment in some cuter, Pure Barre socks. But
exactly.
Grab those Sky Zone socks and you can
The only socks we don't like you to wear are the socks that you get when you have a baby. You can't wear your hospital socks. Other than that, your sticky socks are welcome.
Your hospital socks, like those little booties? Have people worn those, Emily?
Yes. Moms have both. They have their Sky Zone. They have their hospital socks.
So funny. I think I was like, I just don't even remember any of that. I mean, obviously love my child, but threw away the hospital accessories.
I actually took my Pure Barre socks to the hospital to have the baby. So I did it the opposite. I was like, I didn't
find Barre until my youngest was like 6 months old. So the pro tip, if you're having babies now.
Go for it.
We've talked about so much. Can people still is that first class free? I know sometimes that foundations class, or can you come with a friend? Like, how do people, start?
Yes, so that is a great question. And so all the Pure Barre studios are individually owned. Right. There are some owners out there who own more than one studio. And so the studios that they own operate independently together, if that makes sense. But just take my studio. I only have my precious little fifth baby, Pure Barre Summerville, and I love her so much. And at my studio, we do free foundations classes. We have them 3 to 4 times a week. They are free, and you can book online. You can call the studio, text the studio. I would say most studios around the country have free foundations classes. If they don't, they probably offer another class free. I can't say that for sure, but normally there will be a free class to offer for you to experience the studio. We like to do foundations because it's less intimidating. It's a small group setting. You get an introduction to the technique and the studio without just walking into a room where you feel like everyone knows what they're doing. Right. So we think it's a better experience for new clients to do it that way.
I'm just going to throw it in. For me personally, I love Barre sometimes. I love the lunchtime class, because if you're one of those people who's working and throws on the leggings and takes class, it is 100% hard. Like, you're going to get a workout, but not always, you don't sweat a ton. You can bear with me so I can take a class and then I can put my work clothes back on if I have to and go back. So for me, that's a bonus. Not every class, not Empower or some of the sweaty ones. I don't know if other people say that, but that's why I love it. I'm I don't have to wash my hair. That's a plus sometimes.
I love that. And we have so many people at our studio, real estate agents who run in heels and business suit, and they jump in, they take class, they put it right back on. It really does fit into your lifestyle for that reason.
I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, and at our studio, that's actually kind of a big point. I don't have Empower at lunchtime for that reason.
Oh, that's smart. So for those who don't know, Empower is the more cardio based, right? Like Empower, I sweat. Empower, I have to shower after that one.
Yeah.
Yep. Emily, anything else that you would like to add? I'm just so happy to talk to you. I'm thrilled for your success. Pure Barre is near and dear to my heart. Again, for someone who's never tried it, what words of encouragement would you say for them to, come in and try and get addicted? Because, we know that they will.
Yeah, we know they'll love it. I would just say, I do have a couple things that I actually really love to tell people. And I will say that we strongly believe, and the evidence is there, that Pure Barre is for everybody. Regardless of your fitness level, regardless of your shape, size, age, guys are even welcome. Pure Barre is for everybody. If you are recovering from an illness or recovering from an injury, recovering from surgery, we get a lot of referrals from PT for the reason of our workout being low impact. We really love to work with you and help you find modifications and options while you build strength, while you start working out. That's the other reason we do foundations. We want to take that fear and anxiety out of the equation. So if you're new to working out, we're here to support you. If you have an existing workout routine and you've kind of gotten stale with your results and you want to mix it up, we're here for that too. We love that. And I will also say that Pure Barre is the most effective the more often you do it. So really the greatest level of satisfaction with results and also mentally from our clients and for me personally is 3 to 4 or even more days per week. The more often you take Pure Barre, the quicker you experience the benefits, the better you feel in terms of your achiness and your joints, your flexibility. So Pure Barre really works best when you jump in, really learn the technique and really find a way, fight for it in your schedule to carve out 3 to 4 or more days per week. Self-care is not selfish, and you will be the strongest version of yourself for the people who need you the most. And it really is worth it. And I've also found that the people who have the hardest time getting in need it the most. There's a list of reasons why people don't work out: kids' schedules, don't feel good, health issues, can't sleep well at night, so they're too tired. Travel schedules, being in the car too much. All of those reasons are the reasons to work out. And we can support them here at Pure Barre. And we really love to help you find the routine that works for you, for your fitness goals, and for your schedule.
That was so beautifully said. And I love that you said that, because I love when I go and you see the college girls and you see, someone who's 70, you see someone who's pregnant, you see someone who recently had a hip replacement or whatever, all levels, all ages. It's home and it's family for all of us. So that's absolutely wonderful. purebarre.com. And obviously from there, they can click through to the Summerville location, correct? And then on Facebook and Instagram, you're Pure Barre Summerville. Anywhere else that we need to search for or find you, Emily?
Nope, but we have some sister studios in the Charleston area, 2 in Mount Pleasant, 1 in downtown, and 1 in West Ashley. Those are not my studios, but I know the owners, and they're our sisters. And so if it's closer to you to go over there, then do that. But we'd love to meet you at Pure Barre Summerville.
All right, Emily, thank you so much for your time today. It has been such a pleasure talking to you. Go to purebarre.com for more information. And this has been Emily Moody with the Charleston Women Podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks for spending time with Charleston Women Podcast. Please like us and follow us on whatever platform you're using to access Charleston Women Podcast.